thinking all of it. Sure, so that's why it's so
Good job.
Okay, so I am calling to order the regular meeting of Village of Trumansburg Planning Board for September 2025. And we'll start by doing what we usually do, but before that, I want to introduce Mike Bailey, who's joined us as our new zoning and building inspection officer. And Mike is a T-Burg native and comes to us from the city of Ithaca, where he's been safety inspector. And we're delighted to have you with us. Really pleasure to welcome you.
Happy to be here.
All right, great. So you won't have to introduce yourself tonight, but everybody else has our roll call protocol. Just introduce yourselves. Rick Geiger, Planning Board Chair.
Jessica Giles, Village Clerk Treasurer.
Sarah Kennedy, Planning Board Member.
Great, thank you. Well, we have two principal items in front of us tonight, but we also have to approve some minutes from our previous meeting. Has everyone had a chance to look at the latest draft of that?
Yes.
Okay, and that was because I wanted to make it clear in the minutes that with respect to the second item tonight, or the one Main Street item tonight, that we're only addressing their proposed additions. Nothing about the existing site plan other than what they're proposing to change is actually reports. And I wanted that to be clear that that was the essence of the motion to reopen that site plan. So that's the only thing I just want to make sure that it's to your attention. Are there any additions or corrections? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes as drafted?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, those minutes are accepted. So our agenda tonight has on it both a site plan review reopening for one East Main Street and also a public hearing for both of these, actually. Public hearing 37 Halsey Street subdivision application. Since the applicant isn't here at this point for the one East Main Street site plan review, we'll go ahead and take the subdivision application first, and we'll go ahead and do the public hearing for that, and also our planning board discussion, possibly decision if we have enough information to do that. So I'm going to rearrange the agenda in that respect. So we'll start with the public hearing subdivision application at 37 Halsey Street. Would someone move to open the public hearing? Michelle's doing that.
I'll second.
Favor? So that's unanimously. The public hearing is open. Have you received any written?
I have not.
I don't see any members of the public present. Are there any members of the public present on Zoom?
There is a member of the president. Are you desirous to comment?
Jonathan? Okay. So there doesn't appear to be any comment from the public on this matter at this point. Does the applicant have anything additional to offer for us?
Yeah, I guess I do want to make sure that the additional information that's submitted. wetland map on that.
Right.
The only other update is since that provided, we did get new information from the MRP group, the city or village engineer, about stormwater, sewer system.
Great.
Which we kind of knew, but now we know for sure. That information is provided out to maps, so that can be helpful as well. Okay, yes,
Yeah, why don't we pass them around now because we'll,
so this stormwater infrastructure like within the DOT diagram. And this shows the water line and this would line along all this. The other thing is, we also have.
oh, there's Mark. So just for the record, we're adding Mark Devakaitis, our fourth board member with us this evening. I'll say, so go ahead.
Yeah. So in addition, now that we have the information, I also hired Andy Strava, the civil engineer, and help me design the water and sewer system. We're going to also meet with Dusty on Monday to verify a couple of invert elevation and some stuff so that can design.
Okay.
So,
That's-
and then the only other thing we have started, we haven't gotten far with the process of submitting everything. So we've got those designed and they're to this DOT standards, but we do have to submit them. We may find that state. But as designed, they are existing.
Sure,
But
sure.
not.
Yeah, that particular thing will only really become relevant once the particular sites are starting to be developed. Then the DOT, their review process will click in. The other thing that'll click in there is the general municipal ordinance that requires notification of any kind of alteration within 500 feet of a state highway. But you have to, so you'll have to, at the time of development,
Right.
you will need to be notifying them as well, that the various other interested parties can be alerted to what's going on. But our subdivision itself doesn't require that. It's all we're limiting its drawing lines. So, yeah. Okay. Great, thank you. All right. Any other questions from the board? We don't have any public comments. Just a general question. So what will be the process for purposes of the DPW and the extension of the sewer and water lines?
Yeah, so on the map, for example, the sewer, sanitary sewer goes from to Long Falls that runs to the east. There's an example, right? This property.
Yeah, that's on your existing stuff. Yeah.
We don't know the depth of that. So we need to verify that, so that's step one. Once we know the depth of that pipe, then we can design the pipe system on our properties. Into that.
I see.
We believe it's low enough, it's like 9 feet down per feet, so I think it's low enough to it. And then we have to do a pump system, which is certainly feasible. It's just.
Right.
So that's where Andy comes into play, he's going to find that system, for the water system. All of that, I guess, gets reviewed by MRPD. They represent the village.
So how about the water? How does that?
Yeah, it's the same, so there's an 8-inch water main along all through. My understanding from preliminary conversations with MRPD is that we have to extend that same line along Hector Street. Pretty much the full front, and we'll end up with pipe
On that side, on that side of the road.
Yeah, on our side of the road, I'm just tapped in 4 times. So, two people's tap.
Any other questions from, or you'll have more chances for questions, so to get out in the public hearing, I don't know, get that stuff on the record. All right, we have a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll move to close the public hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Right, so the public hearing is over. We now get to discuss this matter. As a sort of a lead into this, I just want to make a few observations about the subject question. And how this got to be a major subdivision. If you look at the regulations, it's the determination on whether something's minor or major subdivision hinges on a series of checkbox style questions, right? And if you check any one of them, yes, then all of a sudden you go into part of the ordinance that's called major subdivision. This one got moved to major subdivision category, sort of automatically. There is going to have to be sewer or water extension, and that's the check boxes that you have to tick off. That is the only reason this is officially, technically situated now as a major subdivision. No other aspect of this proposed subdivision that sort of rises to the level of consider major or something. And so I was looking at the requirements for the major subdivision stuff. It's a lot of important items. If you're looking at a very complex subdivision, and significant stormwater issues. Because of that, it takes you through a series of steps with repeated public hearings and considerations, issues that are all going to be basically unnecessary in this case. So luckily, the writers of this ordinance, I'm not sure where it is derived from. I don't think we invented it here in Queens, but the writers of this ordinance do give us the right to waive provisions of the ordinance of the major subdivision ordinance that are not applicable. And so what I'm going to propose we do in this situation is to waive all of the requirements for the subdivision portion of this, except those that are already required minor subdivision. So basically what we're doing is we're sort of working around this checkbox that you're doing what's still legally required as a major subdivision, but we're waiving the elements of that we don't already have to do for the minor subdivision because of the facts of this particular application. And I'm confident that that's why that provision is in there, because otherwise it would be incredibly inefficient for a public like this and wasteful of time, money, our time, public's time. Process. So what I'm going to do is propose that I'll make a motion, that we right now waive all of the requirements of the major subdivision portions of the regulation that are not already required in the minor subdivision provisions. So I'm going to make that a motion. Is there a second? We've had a chance to discussion, but is there a second for that? A second. So it's a discussion.
A question, I mean, is there anything specific to the sewer extension that we need to weigh in on?
In fact, I honestly don't know why that is in there, the trigger, because it's really the end up to the applicant. To work that out. I suppose if you think of it as being there because they want you to be sort of super alert to any possibility of something different. Then maybe if there has to be a sewer or water extension, that's one of those things that should suggest to you, maybe more going on here than you think is going on. I don't think that's the case here, but that's the only reason I can think of that. It's a link there, it's a check box. Okay, any further discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion as I stated?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so now we move on. It's still a major subdivision, but just going to move on and do the decision-making process that we think is appropriate. Okay, so we do have to do, and the public hearing too, we do have to do the seeker review of this. It's a short form because this is an unlisted action for the seeker, and it's not excluded from and it doesn't get the super and so we can look at the short form environmental assessment form that's filed, and if we're satisfied that there are no significant environmental impacts from this proposed action, which by the way is really just drawing some lines, then we can make a negative declaration. That significant environmental factors for purposes of seeker. So, have people had a chance to look at that environmental assessment form? It was resubmitted with this last batch of things from NOAA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I said submitted both a short form and long.
Okay.
So you have both.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And we could go through this item by item, with sometimes include, but for subdivision, honestly, 95% of the questions don't even really apply, because of our action, which is what this is all about. It's really just to reconfigure the property lines. So I didn't see anything that jumped out at me any kind of concern based on the answers that were provided. And we certainly haven't heard any public comment from neighbors or otherwise that would suggest that there's a concern. And so does anyone have any questions or concerns about the answers that were given, information provided in the short environmental assessment form or the long form?
Yeah, I think there's something being property changes. What would that for the runoff and maybe they go with the house there. And the wetlands and then getting their close.
Yeah, I really think there are, and again, even though these are answered yes. In 17, I'd say that, it would have been perfectly appropriate things somehow. When the development was actually proposed, I think it's appropriate to be yes.
And maybe if I could, I could clarify that when I did the small one, because of the way the nature subdivision requirements were written. I assumed that the action would go to start off with that one, so I included information about the water and the. It's not estimating. So the more of the action, the more freedom kind of right from that one.
Sure,
That one.
we'll get to that. Yeah, and that's the whole point, that if you can subdivide this, but the real question is can you develop? So we'll get to that question. But right now, we have at least some fundamentals. Okay, is there I'll be happy to make it, but is there a motion to do what they call a deck? Here, a negative declaration with respect to this action that has no significant.
I can move.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. All right, so we've done the neg deck, now we can make a decision. Anything that is a concern to anyone, anything out there? Before we approve the subdivision and send it on to our professionals, then to make it all happen with the county clerk.
No.
All right, so is there a motion to approve subdivision?
Yes. I'll second.
Further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
Opposed?
Sorry.
Wow. That's really fast. Okay, subdivision application is granted. We'll have you work with Jessica and Mike to get the descriptions and all that
All the legal stuff.
ready for our county clerk. So that the tax assessor will do the tax. All right, well, thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks, Nora. Bye bye.
Well, I'm surprised we don't have a bill, yeah.
Well, you know the hearing was at 7:30, right?
Okay.
Here.
No, Phil knew the hearing was at 7:30.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's 7:50.
Wait,
Yeah, I think
It's
it's
seven.
actually on the docket.
it's on the docket, so I expect, he's got 3 minutes, so.
Well, he was on the docket for 7:05.
Oh,
It was,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, oh, right, oh, that was a reverse, okay.
We're just a guy.
So, yes, I don't know where he is.
Just because he's been so punctual, I feel like we should.
Okay.
If you all know. Right, because.
Well, man.
It's not fair that it's- it's a close piece.
Actually, I don't think it can go on without the app. I think that's one of the requirements. You have to
It doesn't.
Yes.
It doesn't need.
Does that sound right?
Yeah. Public hearing doesn't.
Aha, like, so this is the.
Yeah, that's missing anything or something.
Yeah, I would be.
I was trying to. From you know what?
So,
Welcome to the village, Mike.
Thank you.
Bye.
Marcus.
Here's what we use for yours.
But,
You're welcome.
oh. Maybe try this. Like by Saturday night, come on out. Play.
Oh, yeah?
Start at 9.
Oh, it's late.
If you're going out. So,
Where are you from?
bike park,
Oh,
and then. I don't even know about. Oh, it's a late start.
That is,
No,
that means you have.
it was 8 to 11 there, and the last couple of times we played, and it's 9 to 12, so. Yes, I thought it was, this whole committee thing. Saturday's the game, or the things.
No, they, Saturday's weekend, so they travel like. They're trying to make some this. It's absolutely soccer, not.
There's something
And
happening.
there is a home game tomorrow night.
Friday night is something.
So
big.
there's,
Yeah.
Tomorrow night is something.
yeah, yeah.
sorry, I do not approve of him. So,
Well,
all right, we will just postpone the proceedings here. Mike, you should know that at least with respect to their proposed additions to the mezzanine, that whole second entrance and everything, we should be able to go ahead to finish this thing. I mean, that's the consequence. We'll put it on the agenda, I guess, for the next week.
Okay.
So is there a motion to adjourn?
sure. Oh. Well,
Second.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, all right. I'll allow half an hour for discussion. All right, all, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.